Good evening and welcome to the August 25th, 2015 meeting of the Gaston County Board of Commissioners. My name is Tracy Fehlbeck. I serve as chairman of the board as well as commissioner for the Dallas Township. I'd like to welcome our viewers and thank Time Warner Cable and AT&T for making this possible for our citizens. For our television audience, I would like to present to you your Gaston County Commissioners beginning on my right.
Alan Fraley, Cherryville Township.
Good evening, Chad Brown, Riverbend Township.
Good evening, Mickey Price, South Point Township.
Good evening, Jason Williams, Gastonia Township.
And good evening, Joe Carpenter, Crowders Mountain Township.
Thank you, gentlemen. At this time, I call the meeting to order. Our invocation will be delivered by Commissioner Williams, and a pledge of allegiance will be led by Commissioner Price.
Stand. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be back here to, Lord, do the business of the citizens of Gaston County. We thank you for the beautiful day you've given us today. God, we thank you for the privilege, Lord, to breathe and to get up and live another day, God. We thank you for the privilege to live in this great country, in this beautiful county, and for the opportunity we have to serve you. Lord, we pray that you would help us tonight as we make decisions for this county. We pray that you would bless the citizens. I pray you'd bless us with a healthy economy, Lord, good jobs. We pray that you'd bless us with good health. And just pray that everything would be done tonight for your glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. The County Commission will take citizen comment on two rezoning map changes. Before we go into public hearing, let me outline the rules of procedure for the hearing. Citizens wishing to make comment will be recognized by the chair and then requested to step to the microphone for their comment. Citizens will state their name and address for the record. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Questions shall be directed to the chair for a response, and the chair shall rule on all points of order during the meeting. This time, do I hear a motion to go into public hearing? Motion made by Commissioner Brown, seconded by Commissioner Price. Any discussion? All in favor? We are now in public hearing. Our first item, the commission will take comment on rezoning map change of Miss Peggy Janelle Truesdale, property parcel 204,935, located at 310 Best Road, Kings Mountain, North Carolina. I'll ask Mr. David Williams, Development Service Director, for comments. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the commission, and also planning board. Excuse me, trying to learn this new system tonight. This is my first time using this, so hopefully bear with me. Mr. Chairman and members of the commission, as well as the planning board, try to be brief. The request tonight is for zoning map amendment Z1507. It's a rezone parcel 204,935 from R1 Single Family Limited to the R1 Single Family General. The applicant is Peggy Janelle Truesdale of Kings Mountain, and she's also the property owner. The parcel 204,935 consists of 5.014 acres, of which 5.014 acres are proposed to be rezoned, and again located on 310 Best Road in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. The current use on the property is residential. At this time, Mr. Chairman, I'll refer to the VZ. I think I got that right. The zoning around the parcel is bounded in blue. So point here. To the south of the property is residential 2 district, and pretty much around it is residential 1. There is some C1 to the southwest of the property. So aerial photography, just to give you some background information. Again, the parcel under consideration is bounded in blue. There is a residential structure on the property and a lot of bulk acreage. And as you can see, to the south is residential. It's pretty much residential all around it. It is staff's opinion the request is consistent with the comprehensive land use plan. The request was advertised and sent to adjacent property owners in accordance with county policy. Staff has received no calls regarding this proposed change. Mr. Chairman, this concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, are there any citizens' comments? Any questions from the planning board? Any questions from the board? Thank you, gentlemen. Our next item, the commission will take comment on rezoning map change Z1508 Venture Properties, property parcel 200901 located on Dallas Cherville Highway, Bessemer City, North Carolina. I'll ask Mr. Williams for comments. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the Board of Commission, as well as the Planning Board, this request is for zoning map amendment Z1508. Is to rezone parcel 200901 from R1 Single Family Limited Zoning District with CH overlay, which is Corridor Highway Overlay District, to the C3 General Zoning District with CH overlay, which is a portion of the parcel. The applicant is Venture Properties LLC, and the property owner is Arnold and Linda Collingham. Mr. Kuhn, or Marty Kuhn, is here with Venture Properties in attendance if you have any questions. The parcel 200901 consists of 4.62 acres, of which the request is for the entire amount. Again, the property is located on Dallas Cherville Highway in Bessemer City, North Carolina. Current use on the property is, let me check, I think it's vacant. It's undeveloped and vacant. I'll refer to the VZ at this point. The parcel under consideration is this parcel hatched out, as I point to it. Again, that's the 5 acres. It's located on Dallas Cherville Highway, which intersects with Henderson Road and also Josh Lane, or old NC 277. Pretty much what's around it is residential 1 or single family limited. There's some city of Gastonia property. There's industrial property right across the street or north of the property, which is I-2 zoning or industrial zoning. There's also some more industrial zoning right here. To orient you, Cape Fear Trucking Company, it's my understanding, used to be located in that structure, which is across the street. C3 zoning just to the east of the property on both sides of Dallas Cherville Highway. Again, here's a CH overlay, which runs a portion of the property and runs on the other side, Corridor Highway District for Dallas Cherville Highway. Again, here's an area. Here's the property. Try to make it a little bit bigger. It's right here, undeveloped property. Again, the former Cape Fear Trucking Company is another industrial type facility located right here. Some residential beside it. Again, this is a Gastonia owned property. We did send City Gastonia. They were one of the property owners notified with this request. It is staff's opinion the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan. The request was advertised and sent to adjacent property owners in accordance with county policy. Staff has received no calls regarding the proposed change request. Mr. Chairman, we'd like to disclose that when we sent out the notice to adjacent property owners, we used the U.S. overlay instead of the CH overlay. However, we did have the CH overlay on the map, so when the property owners got it, that was on the map. The primary zoning, though, the R1 to C3 was in that notice, so that should cover that notice. The ad reflected the CH overlay, so that's correct as well. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Any citizens wishing to make comment? Okay, if you would, Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and make your comments. And I think there's another gentleman, if you had your hand up, if you'll go ahead and get in line. And again, your name and address for the record.
My name is Brenda Costner. I live at 4501 Dallas Travel Highway. It's right next to the property that they're speaking of. It's my understanding that they're putting a retail business in there, and I was wondering how it's going to affect my property as far as the parking lots. Are they going to do something like a retention pond or something to catch water runoff? I'm on well water, so that's my main concern there.
Okay.
And is there any other plans in the near future as far as any more commercial buildup around there?
Okay. Willie. Mr. Williams, can you answer that? Can you answer any of those questions?
Okay, you're right here, one right next to it, right?
Yes, shake it.
Okay. If you refer to the visa, I can point that out for Commissioner Brown, Commission. This is one, Mr. Brown, that she's pointing to, the one right next to it. Blow it up a little bit for you. This one right there.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Williams, can you answer any of her questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, in terms of, to clarify just for the record, in terms of the process, if it was zoned, they could do any use, I got to put that for the record. But if they end up doing a retail establishment, they would have to go through the development process, which would include sending those to erosion control and natural resources for review.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Costner.
Well, you got my question out there, I just don't know if it was answered as far as, you know, how
Okay,
it's gonna-
y'all can have a conversation later unless, do you have a
Okay.
question for?
No, that's okay. I
Okay,
can
thank
talk to you afterwards. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine.
If you go ahead and come forward, please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Danny Barrera. I'm with Venture Properties. I live at 4967 Brushy Mountain Road, Moravian Falls, North Carolina, 28654. Barrera. Yes, sir. I'm here just basically if you have any questions regarding, the project. I will tell you that we will adhere to any requirements, by NCDOT, anything by DENR that we need to establish. We will go through all the process as required by, the code and the rezoning process. If you have any questions regarding the actual project itself, any use specifically, I'm here as long with Marty Kuhn, and we'd be, happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions of the board?
Yes,
Commissioner
sir.
Price?
Thank you. Would you just, if you want to go into detail, that's fine, but would you say your project is going to be neighborhood friendly as the questions the neighbor posed living next door?
We sure hope so. We always try to be neighborly friendly. I mean, we don't want to upset the neighbors. We always want to do everything we can to make sure that everything is in compliance and everybody's okay with what's going on. The runoff situation, the acreage that we have helps that. We will meet any requirement, of course, that is required of us, and all that extra land there will help the excess water and the runoff. We will only be on septic there, I believe, and as well as well water.
Okay. Are you, at this time, able to tell what your hours of operation at your business will be?
It is from, I believe we are from 9 to 10. I believe that it is a retail use, and I believe that is accurate. 8 to 10.
You're closing at 10. Is that
Yes, sir.
10 PM?
Yes, sir.
That may be of a concern if, I don't know about lighting, if, you know,
The lighting will be, I'm not familiar with the exact terminology, but it's the lighting that does not flood onto neighboring properties. I believe that by code, we have to shine all the light that we have onto our property.
okay, thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Commissioner Carpenter?
I believe, and further answer her question, David, there's landscape screen planting along the borders that's required.
Yes, sir. There's a 30-foot landscape buffer along the three sides of the property, and there's a 25-foot setback as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other? Commissioner Brown?
Is that a community well, or will you be putting your own well on?
We're our own well.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This time, are there any questions from the planning board? Okay, hearing none, I'll excuse the planning board to first appearance courtroom 2029 for deliberations. This concludes the public hearing for tonight. The board would like to thank each of you for your input. This time, do I hear a motion to close the public hearing? Motion made by Commissioner Fraley, seconded by Commissioner Williams. Any discussion? All in favor? We are now out of public hearing. Our first item is agenda revisions and approval. Are there any items that the commission would like to revise or pull at this time? Okay, I'm going to pull item J just to add a comment. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent
So
agenda
moved.
as is, with item J being pulled. Motion made by Commissioner Price, seconded by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. This time, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes, the regular meeting of July the 28th, 2015.
Second?
Motion made by Commissioner Brown, seconded by Commissioner Price. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Our next item is citizen recognition. A portion of the board's agenda is set aside for the purpose of allowing citizens an opportunity to offer comments and suggestions. This comment period is not intended to require the commission and/or staff to answer any impromptu questions or provide a response. Questions requiring a response shall be answered as soon as possible through the county manager's office. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes. As I call your name, please step to the podium and state your name and address for the record. The first citizen signed up to speak is Dr. Pat Mitchell, Department of Commerce.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Commissioner Philbeck, good to see you. Manager Mathers and the Board of Commissioners, I'm here to do a presentation. I'm Pat Mitchell, the Assistant Secretary of the Rural Economic Development Division at the Department of Commerce. And to begin, I would like to read a letter that I brought with me addressed to Commissioner Philbeck. Dear Tracy, by way of this letter, we would like to express our appreciation for your service to the state of North Carolina through your service on the inaugural Rural Infrastructure Authority. Appointed in 2013 by the Senate President Pro Tem to serve as one of 15 appointed members of the Rural Infrastructure Authority, 5 from the Senate, 5 from the House, and 5 from the Governor's Office, you and the other authority members contributed to the significant and successful endeavor of standing up a new division within the Department of Commerce, the Rural Economic Development Division. From its initial granting period of December 2013, the division has awarded more than $66 million to the rural communities of this state. Those funds have enabled local governments, working with business and industry partners, to renovate and expand buildings, create new infrastructure for development, and to provide various other economic development enhancements that create jobs and capital investment in our communities. As the Secretary of Commerce and the Chairman of the Rural Infrastructure Authority, we extend our best wishes to you as you take on new challenges and opportunities for service. If we may ever be of assistance to you, please do not hesitate to contact us. With best regards, Secretary John Scavarla and Chairman Tommy Hester. And at this time, I have a plaque I would like to present to the chairman, if I may step forward to do that.
You may.
And the plaque reads, Tracy Philbeck, in appreciation for your service on the Rural Infrastructure Authority, 2013 to 2015, with the secretary's and the chairman's signatures on it.
Thank you. I did not know you were coming. So. That was a surprise. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was quite a surprise. Well, thank you. Have you enjoyed your stay in Gaston County?
I have. I commented to the manager as I came in. Got in here about 5 o'clock and drove around a little bit. You have some beautiful public facilities. And I always thought when I was a local developer and a county manager that when a community has public infrastructure that they are proud of and obviously as well maintained as yours, it's a sign of a caring and a progressive community. So I appreciate the opportunity to see it. And we wish you the very best. Come see us sometime.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Our next citizen signed up. I can't even read this name.
I believe it's that gentleman right there.
Winslow? Mr. Winslow, if you'd please come forward. Thank you. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Winslow Mellis, and I reside at 916 Canterville Drive in Gastonia. I am the owner and systems specialist for a company called G&L Technical Services. I've been in business now in my 30th year. I'm celebrating 45 years of technical excellence. I have subscribed to come here because of a documentation I observed in the Gazette, which states that the county of Gaston County have failed to comply with the federal mandate as it pertains to Americans with Disabilities Act. It's part of my business. It's part of me taking care of people. And so I've been doing this and many other things for a very, very long time. I have given many documents to share among you good gentlemen so that you could see exactly what I'm here to talk about. This would take me about a month to say what I want to say, but I only got 5 minutes. I can come back some other time. First of all, the federal government had mandated a law in this country to take care of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and this was enacted in 1992. The ADA is a civil rights law. It's not a building code. The Justice Department and the United States Department of Justice, they made out very stiff penalties when these laws are not adhered to. I hope that you gentlemen have spent some time to read those documents that I presented to you, and also I gave you some important documents pertaining to myself, and I hope they would serve in good stead in order to make these people who are disabled capable of living in this community. I'd like to read very quickly a couple of things here. First of all, a lot of people feel that these old buildings are grandfathered into certain laws. The American with Disabilities Act is not a law that grandfathers any building whatsoever. And because of that, federal government requires that these laws must be put in place as early as possible. I'm going to read a few little things here. Complaints. Some facility managers wait until they get a complaint before they do anything, or believe lack of complaints means that their building is compliant. But waiting for the complaint to arrive means that the facility manager has no control over the barrier removal process. The courts or DOJ will dictate what has to be done and when, and will not consider financial restraints. The Department of Justice, there is an added penalty starting from $55,000. I own a business, as I said before, and I am planning to go to work for the federal government because this is what I like to do. I like to make sure that laws are being maintained and observed many times, especially with the people that has disability and unable to move around. I was in the building where you pay the taxes. There are some infractions there that people with a wheelchair would not be able to get where they're going. This is not the only place that is not complying with the federal law. There are lots of buildings in this city. I cover 3 states. And I spoke to the Justice Department and many of the people. They don't have the manpower to go around and make sure that these laws are being taken care of. So that's one of the big setbacks. However, the people that are working for these facilities must be smart enough to recognize what needs to be done. And, you don't have to have a law for everything, but people that are in position must be able to recognize what should be done and how soon they can get it done. And if we do that, we will have a better place to live in, better community, and people will come back and vote for you time and time and time and time again. So my point of being here is to let you know what I do for a living, what my position is as it concerns with law. I'm from British Guiana, South America. I live here I've been here since 1967. I worked for the British Guiana Police Department. I did many things. And I was one of the toughest law enforcement guy that puts you before the court if you fail to recognize what you need to do. So I'm available at any time. You gentlemen can call on me. You have all the documents there. I'll be glad to work with you in order to you to get everything on board. You got a lot of work to do here. I can pinpoint them to you every single day. And I'll be glad to stay side by side with you in order to get these infractions completed, started, and whatever it takes. Like I said, just give me a call. My phone number is there.
Thank you, Mr. Winslow, for taking the time
Yes.
and offering your service.
Thank you.
Our next item is the consent agenda. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion made by Commissioner Brown, seconded by Commissioner Carpenter. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Our next item is the non-consent agenda. Do we have information back on the zoning? Okay, we'll wait on that. We'll move down to item C. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve item C under non-consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Carpenter, seconded by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next item is item D, to appropriate fund balance to fund a school resource officer. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve item D under non-consent. Commissioner Brown, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So where did this request come from? Did the school ask for an SRO, or so they approached the county?
The school came, I think, to the chief and also to Mr. Mathers. They had asked me, they said they had to get it on the agenda to have it. They're going to fund this themselves 100%.
Okay. Because I see that they're going to give us $60,000. Or is it no? So they're going to refund the whole amount or up to $60,000?
65, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Earl.
The situation is that for some reason, the school had some misinformation in terms of what the total cost of the program would be. So they had obtained some grant funding and then through their own budget have resources up to $60,000 to cover the cost of the SRO. However, the startup cost, the first year cost, will be approximately $95,000. And thereafter, the cost is likely to run between $70,000 and $75,000. So in essence, we would need to subsidize the cost of the SRO to some extent. And so that's the decision that you have at hand. I think it might also be possible to agree to the first year funding, which would be a subsidy of approximately $35,000, because as I understand it, it's been approved by their board, but they do not have the resources available to make up that gap. But then we could declare that they would have to fully fund it thereafter.
Okay, because when I, can I, okay.
Commissioner Williams.
Because when I read this, it says it's contingent upon a formal agreement by Piedmont Charter School to reimburse the county no less than $60,000. That's different than up to $60,000. So no less means that's a minimum that we'll get back. Is that kind of what we're looking at, or is that, are we expecting $60,000, or is it we're expecting the full amount, but no less than $60,000?
We're expecting $60,000. No more, no less, really.
Okay. I'm okay with this in theory. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I just, we're going to set a precedent for SROs for any future charter schools that want to come in. And I think we just have to be cognizant of that. I'm okay with it. But I think this board just needs to recognize that moving forward, if we do this, we are going to set the precedent that moving forward, we will be probably obligated to do it for other charter schools. But thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Brown.
I'll go ahead and change the motion then to fund the full amount for the first year for the school to do it. That's what I was told. That's what I sponsored. And I think that's what the chief was told at the time. We knew the price. So they should have known that up front, what that cost was going to be. So I would suggest for our board to either go back to them and say, this is where we're at. I mean, we'll because I said it's a new position. Let's say they go out, like last year, their board also said they were going to disband the school. So if they disband the school this year, we're stuck with an officer we're having to pay $94,000 for.
Would you like, Commissioner Brown, would it be better to pull this item?
Yes.
Maybe get it together and bring it back? Were you okay with that?
I'm fine with it, because I was
Sure,
told that it was not, that they would fund the entire 100%, and that was their board had to vote on that whenever, so they've duped me already. So that's enough to say I'll pull it, and if it doesn't come back up, that's whatever they want to do with it.
Okay. Commissioner Keeger.
Yeah, if the chief can just nod his head, would you have to hire another
Yes.
officer? Yes. Okay, so if the school did have to close, we'd have that other employee. That's something to consider. I was recently out at the Mountain Island Charter School, and, they'll come knocking, I'm sure. But what I would suggest, if and when that happens, I know a great deal of their students at Mountain Island are coming from Mecklenburg County. And I would hope that that would be a cost-sharing type situation we could get into with them. And that's $60,000, that would cover salary and benefits, is that correct, of the new hire?
The reason it's 95, you have a car, you have a uniform, we have a new officer, we have to train. And, I mean, I'm sure they could bring somebody over to do the school work, but we have an officer who we have to go through the entire, for the first year. Now, the second year, it might not be as much as what I'm understanding, but that would be on them right now, because my understanding when I talked to those people over there, that they had this 100% funded.
I guess another thing that it just, keeps coming back in my mind, I think our officers now probably have an average of about 1,200 kids in a school where they're working. give or take. How many kids are at the Piedmont School? 700? How many? 740, okay. And I don't think it matters whether there's 100 or 1,000, but that's it. Thank you. I agree to table it, too.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Well, it seems to be a little bit of confusion. They're looking for some gap funding. Is that what it is, according to your, Earl?
Commissioner Carpenter, as I understand it, yes, they would have a gap of $35,000, and it would require a new hire on our part, which I don't see as necessarily problematic, because at some point in the future, of course, due to attrition, we'd undoubtedly have a slot that would open up. But the funding gap is, in my view, a problem, and I'd be happy to go back and talk with Mr. Bridges, the principal of the school, and relate that conversation that you've had and see if they can come up with the additional 35.
Okay. I'm agreeable with, let's table it for right now.
I'm agreeable to tabling it, but I'm also agreeable to passing it, and I'll tell you why. Charter schools are public schools. This is not a private school. Taxpayer dollars pay for charter schools. Not only that, the more charter schools you have in the county, the less money we're going to have to spend on capital to fix these buildings up. We don't pay for that. We don't pay for busing for Piedmont. We don't pay for their building. We don't pay for any of that stuff. None of that comes out of county taxpayer dollars. So it's just something you need to think about. It's just put it in perspective. Having charter schools and school choice is a good thing. That's also a part of our vision that we set forward as far as our priorities. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you think we provide the school resource officers to Gaston County schools at the full cost. So this is a charter school that's going to pay over half of it. So that's, again, just put that in perspective before we decide something. Commissioner Brown.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. I guess what I'm up to, you can't stop. I mean, school safety has got to be at the first and foremost of everything we do. Our police officers do a great job. But like I said, when I was sold this to add this to the agenda, it was at 100% rate. So I'm not saying that we don't do it. I'm just saying they told me it was going to be at 100%, and that's how we got to where we're at today. So I would just take it as someone direct the manager to go back and say, this is where we are for this year. What happens if you go defunct? I mean, how does that, because they have to look at what our side of it is, because they have been in that situation already. And that's the only reason that I would say we needed to look at this with a little bit different angle.
Let me add that. Yeah,
Commissioner Carpenter.
I don't want to delay something that's going to create a situation of public safety out there that by delaying it, it's just something they need to do right now. Do you know, Chad?
I was called by the principal and the head of the charter school itself, Piedmont, and was asked, would I sponsor this with them doing 100% funding? They were going to their board that night to the meeting. At that time, everything was great. I don't know where the numbers came from because I wasn't involved in that at all. But I do know that where our number stands, like I said, the only objection I have is they said it was going to be 100%, and now I'm looking at the first time I just heard it was not at 100% is during this meeting. So,
well, I think Earl said they thought it was 100% based off of the numbers they came up with. Then they came to the realization based off of the numbers from the county police that it didn't match. I don't think anybody tried to hide anything.
No, I think that's right, Tracy.
Am I correct?
I'm not saying they hit anything, but what I'm saying is they want an officer who's there, the same officer every day. I'm sure we could probably do something if we put somebody who was not the same officer, who was working overtime or something to that effect, that we may be able to help them out some way, but with the $65,000 that they're willing to put. But they want an officer who's going to be the same officer every day to get to know the children, to be able to know everything and be an independent body there, so to speak. But like I said, I was just sold it as 100%, and that's why I have objection to maybe tabling it.
Here's where I'm at. Again, this is your item. I'll follow your lead. But any school in Gaston County is going to have this protection, and it's going to be fully funded. this is a charter school that's going to fund over half of it. So that's a good thing. That's not bad. So just think about that. Commissioner Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, and I think to circle back, what I was getting at was that same thing. But setting the precedence, if we're going to enter into this type of agreement, the others are going to come on probably a similar agreement if they do. And again, like I said, I don't know if that's a bad thing. As the chairman said, that could actually be a good thing, as opposed to us looking at it as we're only getting back 60,000. We could also look and say, hey, they're actually covering a large portion of the cost that we probably should pay anyway. The question I would have, the only concern I would have for tabling it, is was there something that prompted this? Is there a concern the school has? And I would defer to the chief. Is this something you think we should act on tonight, or are you comfortable us addressing it next month?
Chief?
Good evening. In my conversation with them, it appeared that it was strictly about safety. The principal had a history with East Gaston as well as Highland Tech. He's very familiar with our SRO program, the uniqueness of it and the value of it, and wanted to bring it to his school. He felt that safety was of concern with everything going on, and he felt that now would be the time. We also discussed the issue of part-time. I told him that would not happen. I couldn't make any promises. And if he's wanting consistency with an officer, then a route to go would be a full-time SRO.
Okay. Commissioner Brown, it's your call. I don't have an issue. Again, charter schools is saving us brick and mortar a ton of money, so those 740 students are going to have to go somewhere in Gaston County. So it's your call.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Well, we'll just change the wording to say, we will do this at 100% funding. And that's that way we can at least try to work on getting somebody there as soon as they can figure out what they want to do with their board.
That's what we're going to do.
Well, I thought it was my decision. You said it was my decision, so I was asking.
That's what we're doing. I think that's what your action says.
I'll provide it with no subsidy right now.
Okay, don't provide them with a subsidy right now.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I think the biggest thing was, I couldn't say, let's just put it on a different plateau. We said we're going to build a building, and we know the building for us is $200,000, and they only have $100,000. We're going to sell it to them? No. I mean, I understand we want to make sure we protect the kids. I get that, and that's all I have in mind is protecting the kids. But I think we do that already through a couple of different ways. I don't know what zone they're in, but they have police protection already through the city of Gastonia, if I'm not mistaken, where that's correct.
So would you like to?
They are in the city, so.
Okay. Marcella, did we take a motion and a second on this yet? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to amend that we appropriate a fund balance of $94,858 to fund a school resource officer for Piedmont Charter School, as long as they pay the entire cost back to the county?
So moved.
Is that your motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that one.
Motion made by Commissioner Brown, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? Commissioner Keegan.
Just real quickly, how soon before would you get an experienced officer in there at the beginning and fill that spot?
Yes, there would be an experienced officer put there. However, through internal protocols, we would have to go through a small process of interviewing candidates that would be interested and vetting them through our system. So although we'd move as expeditiously as possible, there are some processes in place that we'd have to go through.
What's your best guess?
2 to 3 weeks.
In the meantime, can we have folks float by and, when
We
they're
could
out
do
on
our best,
patrol?
but again, it wouldn't be what we would make a promise on.
Right.
Too many things happen, and
Right.
We wouldn't be a dedicated individual. We could try to pop in and say hello to the staff and get
Go
to know
eat
the
lunch with the
students and eat
kids.
lunch. But there wouldn't be a promise of that being consistently done every day.
Any other?
Yeah, one other. Let me ask.
Hold on. Commissioner Williams.
Mr. Mathers, Do you think they can afford that? From your discussions with them, will they be okay with that?
I'm afraid they're going to have a difficult time coming up with an additional $35,000, honestly.
Right, and that was my concern from what you said earlier. You acted as if you didn't think they could come up with it. Now, this is just the first year, though. Is that correct?
That's correct. Now, I think
So this isn't a recurring $30,000 subsidy.
Correct. The chief and I have discussed this, and indications are that the out years are going to cost approximately $70,000 to $75,000. Now, with some lead time and everything, I would feel reasonably comfortable that they would be able to make up that gap. But the 35 this year, I'm not sure that's realistic.
Yeah, so that was my concern as well. And it's not that much of a recurring expense.
I look at it as, once again, you can't put a price on child safety. I understand that. But we also have a cost involved when it comes to it that you can't make up, you can't figure out where it comes from. It comes from a cost. So I would just,
You have a motion on the table, it's been seconded.
I like that motion still.
All in favor?
Wait a minute.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Well,
Commissioner Carpenter had a comment. Commissioner
Now, I was
Carpenter.
going to ask the chief, this is a resource officer that would be located there, but I assume that you and other departments are trained in case of incidences to respond there. That's correct?
Absolutely.
Regardless of whatever.
Absolutely.
Okay, I thought that's the way it was, but I want to make sure. Okay.
Commissioner Brown.
They did receive a grant, I think it was one part they had, but they also receive, I know there's a percentage they receive from the taxpayers. I think it's 1% of what we give to the school, so they get that money. So I would assume there's money there in their budget to be able to figure out a way to bring that money to snuff to where we can get there. I'm not saying I don't want to do it, but I'm saying I want to figure out how we can go back to them, but also provide the safety. So that's what we need to be looking at today. And Chief Bowie?
Just so I think it's understood, it's possible, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but it's possible that the $60,000 could have come from what would be a brand-new officer. When you add in what their salary would be, along with all the insurance, FICA, and all those things, it amounts to about $57,000, $58,000. When you add the equipment on top, that brings it to your 94. I would imagine that they did not take into account the equipment and just the officer. Where they got the actual numbers from, I don't know. But if somebody gave them the cost of a brand-new officer, that would put them in the ballpark of coming up with that number.
There is a motion to amend this item to say to appropriate fund balance of $94,858 to fund a school resource officer with full reimbursement from Piedmont Charter School. That is full reimbursement. That's the motion to amend. Okay, no further discussion. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Now, do we have to vote on the action now, Chuck? Okay, now we have to actually vote. That was the vote to amend. Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to appropriate fund balance of $94,858 to fund a school resource officer for Piedmont Charter School with full reimbursement from Piedmont Charter School. Motion made by Commissioner Brown, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. That was a little more than I thought. Okay, do we have zoning matters back yet? Yes, sir. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With respect to the Truesdale application Z1507, the planning board recommended approval with a unanimous vote.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Carpenter. I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay,
With respect to the Venture Properties application, Z1508, the planning board recommended approval, also on a unanimous vote.
Motion to approve.
Second.
motion made by Commissioner Fraley, seconded by Commissioner Carpenter. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, our next item is item J that was pulled from the consent agenda. This is to approve the members of the Caramont Lease Proceeds Investment Task Force. I would like to appoint Commissioner Carpenter to that in my stead when I'm not available. I'm more likely not going to be able to make much of the meetings for September or early October with full voting rights. My motion is to amend it to add him. Seconded by Commissioner Williams. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, at this time, I entertain a motion to approve item J as amended. I will make the motion. Seconded by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? Commissioner Keeger.
This is item J.
Yes, sir.
Just want to point out that when the Gazette did an article about this, I think they unintentionally implied or actually stated that this would be the committee that will decide how the money's spent. And I want to assure the people that, their elected commissioners are going to be the ones. It's not a group of people. They're recommending.
When did you believe anything you read in the Gazette?
I just want
I think it was clarified.
Yeah. No, the commissioners, their elected body has final say. I wouldn't believe the Gazette. Okay. There were no items added by majority vote. At this time, we will go to appointments. Commissioner Fraley.
I have one, Mr. Chairman, Workforce Development Board, Donna Caskey.
Second made by Commissioner Keeger. Any discussion? Am I missing an item? What am I
I
missing?
think we missed B on the non-consent.
traffic control.
I sure did. You're exactly right.
We can approve his motion.
So you mentioned the Gazette. Look what happens, Tom. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve amendment to the Gaston County Traffic Ordinance. Motion made by Commissioner Brown.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Price. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you for pointing that out to me. This time we have appointments. I think Commissioner Fraley made the motion. Commissioner Price seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? That appointment is made. Commissioner Brown.
For the Caramont Health Board, the Economic Development Commission, for the Jack Brown recommended appointment in that travel and tourism group that has a board, and also Julie Roper to the Economic Development Commission. And also for the Planning Board, that's just my two right there. Mr. Brown and Ms. Roper.
Motion made by Commissioner Brown, seconded by Commissioner Price. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Was that opposed, Commissioner Keeger? I understand. Motion carries. Commissioner Price.
I have one for the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee, Effie Locklear.
Motion made by Commissioner Price, seconded by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Commissioner Williams.
None at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Yes, I have one to the Workforce Development Board, and that's Melissa Gordon.
Seconded by Commissioner Keeger. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Commissioner Keeger.
Hannah Curlin to the Sarah Local Planning Committee.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
And if I could, Mr. Chairman, I've had an appointment vacant for the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee, and it's supposed to be a commissioner or commissioner. I guess we can do a commissioner's representative, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so any commissioner interested, get up with me.
I think Commissioner Brown was interested in that. If you could call Commissioner Keeger.
We'll
Okay.
sleep on it.
I have no appointments at this time. Okay. This time, any commissioners' committee reports? Commissioner Fraley.
None, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to bring something to light.
A miracle.
As you well know, we had 2 police officers who were wounded in the line of duty. I just want to thank Chief Ramey and Earl for going out there that night, but Chief Ramey did a great job of everything that was going on. It was total chaos to see everything, but Chief Ramey handled it very well, not only with the way he handled his officers, the people at the hospital. I want to thank Caramont. Awesome job they did. Carolina Orthopedic for getting these guys in and trying to get those guys taken care of. But overall, the community itself, how they surrounded that when these 2 officers were wounded, like I said. But Chief did a good job of training because he'd come out there and he was pretty good. Mark, your guys also for going out and making sure we got the things done in that hostile situation. But I do appreciate all 3 of you guys back there for the work you do and the people who work for you and the pride they take in their job. And let those 2 off. Joe, can you give a update on those 2, please?
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, thank you. Officer Belli had surgery, I think, the next day after the shooting, and he is facing about 6 to 8 weeks of recovery. He may need some additional work with a specialist, but it'll take 6 to 8 weeks to determine the actions and what he might need. Officer Leopard saw a specialist yesterday. He is facing surgery on one of his legs, 3 to 6 months of recovery minimum, at least 1 year before full recovery. And to echo Commissioner Brown's statements, I'd like to thank the community of Raintree, where the incident occurred, for their patience and support out there. We tied up their whole community for, 10 or 12 hours, and they were very patient with us, and we thank them for their patience and their support. Many of them witnessed what occurred and were willing to come forward and assist us, and we appreciate that. Also want to thank all the public safety partners who assisted us out there. Got calls from everybody in the community, everybody in the county supported us, even, actions away from the scene at the hospital. Thank the manager for coming out and showing us support as well. And again, the team and the officers, they did what they are supposed to do, what they're trained to do. They did it well, and we're very proud of them, and it ended in the best that it could. So, thank you.
I think the biggest thing to get out of this is with the police and everything that's happened here lately. I wanted to say something. I said it that night, and everybody thinks that there's things going on right now, but these police officers, if you could have seen that sigh in the room of how, when you get to see your loved ones, the biggest thing for a police officer getting to go home and see those loved ones at night, I don't think it's the conflict that you get in or go looking for. I think they would all rather say they'd rather have a night where they didn't have any calls. But to see that one of those officers' wife was pregnant, so there's a lot on the line for those guys that people don't realize, and that's why I stand up for police officers as much as I can, because those guys are going into the line of duty when we're running from it. So thank you, and thanks to your staff, and Mark, your staff as well, because like I said, that night was something that you, and Earl will tell you, that room was totally different, and we walked into a third room to where you get to see the expressions of somebody who just took someone's life, and it's not a lot of fun. And so I'll beckon to say those guys are professionals, and I just appreciate every one of them. Thank you.
Commissioner Price.
Thank you. Attended the Department of Health and Human Services meeting. Highlights of that meeting would be the year's ending numbers that I will pass along for the Social Division of Health, Public Health. We had 38 vacancies for a lapsed salary of $1,143,000. Through the end of June, that's a 19% vacancy rate, and they came in at a 79% of budget. Over on the social services side, we had a 5% vacancy rate through June, a little over $1,120,000 in lapsed salary. They came in at 85% of budget, with some accounts to be continue to be balanced as we go forward, for a total lapsed salary in DHHS of $2.2 million, which will be refunded to the general fund. Also attended the Coal Ash Ponds Community Well meeting held at the Gaston Citizens Resource Center in Dallas. It was very well attended. We had elected officials from Belmont. Representative Bumgarner was there. I was there, and Mr. Dobbins was the moderator. We had 2 people from Diener and 2 people from the state toxicology department. I think what I want to pass along to the board is, of course, the drinking water in the wells is of concern, and Duke Energy continues to supply bottled water. The verdict is still out on the contamination of the wells, what caused it, and where the contamination came from. That will be answered in months to come, but a couple of individuals that got up and spoke, one individual spoke of trying to sell his house. They had a bid on it. A couple went to the bank, tried to borrow the money to get the mortgage. Bank found out where the house was located and refused to give them a loan. The guy's house sale fell through. Another individual took his appeal to the Equalization and Review Board to try to get his evaluation lowered. Equalization and Review Board turned him down, told him the appeals process he would have to follow. But these are some of the biggest concerns as far as what's happening in the community aside from the contaminated wells. People are concerned about their property values and their ability to sell and move if that's so their desire. But just wanted, I spoke to the individuals from the state after the meeting. They are continuing to do testing on the wells, more than one test from various laboratories. Looks like we'll have something back for the people to read the reports, to make a decision in probably late January, early February at the earliest. So that was their timetable that they're going from. So I just wanted to bring everybody on the board up to date. And there is, as more data comes in, I think Mr. Dobbins is planning on having another meeting if something new comes along. So that's all, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just real briefly, so Caramont is in the process of implementing a new system. If you know anybody that works for the hospital, you may hear them talking about Epic, and we went live with that last week, so we're really excited about that. That's going to do a lot of really good things. It's basically one patient, one chart. It's going to improve access for the patient, give them more access to the medical record. It's also going to help with patient safety. It'll serve as another mechanism to catch potential errors and things of that nature. So we're really excited about it. But as you can imagine, any type of system change like this, it's a big deal when you're dealing with an organization of that size. it's a big deal. So a few glitches here and there, but for the most part, it's actually a lot better than anticipated. Things are going pretty smooth, and I think ultimately, as you visit the hospital, if you need to, or your primary care doctor, you'll actually find it to be a better experience once that gets implemented. So we're excited about that. It's a very significant investment on behalf of the hospital. It's resulted in additional jobs, people being hired, and some new infrastructure. So that's going on there, and that's it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Carpenter.
I will report that I did attend the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners meeting this past Thursday through Sunday, and it was well presented. I thought the information we received was very valid. Lots going on with different counties. I've turned a lot of good information over to the manager for him to peruse and see if we can use any of it, what some other people are doing. And working with the legislature, our staff on the association have been staying right with them. They've headed off quite a number of things that were going to be passed down. I think our legislature, a lot of them never been served in office, and especially on local level, don't know their unintended consequences of what happened with some of their legislation. So I felt pretty confident that our staff up in Raleigh is on top of that. I had one great experience. We had one young girl there, I think she's through the 4-H, Hannah Matthews, yeah. Lovely young lady, and she's remarkable. Homeschooled kid that's about academically 11th grade, but in 9th grade age. But anyway, this year she's actually going to be able to enter early college over at Gaston College. Yeah, and she has an ambition to be a forensic pathologist. I thought, man, this young lady, she's 15, she's really got a lot on the ball. It's really encouraging to see all of those youth there that we sponsor each year at this meeting and from all over the state. So it was a good conference. Thank you.
Commissioner Keeger.
Yeah, I was just showing Joe. I got to meet her. We had a little picnic dinner one evening, and she was an amazing girl. And I guess there were about 120 of them, all in all.
I think so.
And I was amazed to find out that the majority, I won't say the majority, but a good number of them were homeschoolers. And I was asking a couple of the girls I ate with that, why were there so many homeschoolers? And she said that what they're told is that even though the schools, I think, technically are supposed to include homeschoolers in the extracurricular activities in a school, that typically they don't. And so just reaching out, trying to find things to do, they wind up with things like 4-H. But maybe that's something we need to, maybe chairman to chairman, contact, maybe you can send a letter on behalf of the board asking what families would have to do to get their kids to participate in the regular, athletic programs, cheerleading, debate clubs, whatever they have. I think that'd be a great service for us to help provide those kids. I wound up down there a day before, Joe. The district directors had a half-a-day meeting, and one thing that probably stayed with me more than most of the other informational items were they did about a 40-minute presentation on the proposed tax distribution to the counties. And I've asked the gal that presented it to email me the presentation so I could share it with you all, and I'm hoping she does. And I'm going to get the clerk's office to share just a little information with you. They've got all the new statistics of about everything in North Carolina and ranks us.
I give that to him.
Yeah.
I've already given him a copy.
Okay, and now that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Keeger. Want to make sure the board, you should have got it in an email. You may have got it scanned, an invitation to AT&T on Cox Road at 10 o'clock.
Friday.
Friday. I highly recommend you come. It won't be long, but it is a huge deal. I can't really say publicly, but I think it would benefit you to be there. Chuck, Earl, I think it's something that would be good if you attend. If you're, I know you may be out of town, or somebody in your stead. We need some
He's going to deliver a baby.
some representatives.
Maybe
So, okay.
10 o'clock,
Yes,
10 o'clock on Friday
10 o'clock on Friday.
at,
The AT&T on Cox Road. But it's a really big deal for Gaston County.
Could we get the clerk's office to send out the address to us again?
Yes. Marcella, can you handle that? Okay, I appreciate it, Marcella.
Tom, it's right beside the ABC store, you know where that's at.
Oh, down on Franklin.
Earl,
yes, sir.
County Manager's report.
I'm only going to touch on a couple of items this evening. Thanks for the opportunity. The first thing is I'm continuing to explore various ways of saving substantial amounts of money for Gaston County, as we certainly continue to be under a lot of budgetary pressure. There's always new expense needs that are coming up, and one of those is a growing need for transportation services for our veterans. This is in part because of the improvements that I guess that we've seen in the VA services in recent months. Therefore, the demand for transportation to both the Charlotte and Salisbury facilities is increasing, and I believe that Mr. Geske will be coming before you in the fairly near future to talk about his budgetary needs in association with this, which it appears is going to have a fairly substantial deficit on the transportation portion of his budget. Not that it's a huge amount of money. It may run somewhere in the $40,000 to $50,000 range. Obviously, the good side to this is our veterans are able to receive better care, and this probably will diminish in subsequent years, but this year it's certainly asserting some pressure. And that's about all that I would add to my written report at this time. Thank you.
This time we'll have the county attorney's report.
Mr. Chairman, I just need a short executive session to discuss a pending claim against the county.
This time I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session. Motion made by Commissioner Brown, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? All in favor? We are now in closed session.
What's his name?
This time I'll entertain a motion to come out of closed session. Motion made by Commissioner Carpenter, seconded by Commissioner Price. Any discussion? We are out of closed session. We consulted with the county attorney. No action was taken. This concludes our meeting for tonight. Our next work session is September the 8th. Our next regular meeting is September the 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Harley B. Gaston Jr. Public Forum Courthouse. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you have questions or comments, please telephone our clerk, Donna Buff, at 704-866-3196 and share them. I would like to thank Marcella and Angela for filling in tonight. If you could zoom in on Marcella, the camera, let me know when you get that done. We'd like to thank, there she is. Wave at us, Marcella. She's done a great job.
Could we also wish her a belated happy birthday from last week?
Absolutely. I think Tom has her some chocolate wine.
And I want to welcome Angela back. You know, she became a
Absolutely.
traitor. She left, and she came back, so she better be on top of her game.
Absolutely. This time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Commissioner Carpenter, seconded by Commissioner Keeger. Any discussion? All in favor? This meeting is adjourned.